Operation Status Quo. Operation Status Quo. Prepare to engage. Operation Status Quo. Ready to engage. Operation Status Quo. Engaged. 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 I get so excited every time I say engaged. 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 Are we engaged? Are we engaged together? What do you think? I changed things up a little bit. You know, everything's always a work in progress here, you know, when you're doing this type of stuff, YouTube and whatever. So I kind of changed the camera angle a little bit, and I don't know. So let's just see how that goes over the next couple episodes. If you're a regular watcher, I would love for you to drop something in the comments and let me know what you think. A round of applause for a brand new camera angle, a brand new month. Here we are in May. Welcome. I'm Pete Palma, your user-friendly host right here on Operation Status Quo, where we observe the status quo. We learn to flow with the quo. And, of course, we create our own flow, because some of that quo ain't so yo, go, flow, Joe. How you doing, by the way? How are you doing out there? You know what I'm saying out there in the world. It's a crazy place. We've been doing this now for, well, you know, as I've said before, I've been, on this YouTube channel for coming on close to November will be 3 years. So we're May, June, July, August, September, October, November. So we're 2.5 years in basically. And, we're now we're Operation Status Quo. And, this recent revampment, if you would, of this program. I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted because my cat's zipping back and forth around in front of me over here, and it distracted me. But anyway, this new version, as it were, where we started on March 19th. So here we are. Okay, now before you know it, it's going to be 2 months. So we got 31 episodes up already, and I appreciate you, the people out there, being with me, and I've gotten some nice feedback and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. It's a new month. It's a new camera angle, and I just thought, what the hell? What the hell? Let's get started. Let's get started right on a Monday. It's a Monday, a beautiful Monday, the 1st of May. 2023. 2023. So how are we feeling out there today? How you resonating? Are you feeling good? You can leave comments in the comment section with that also. You know, we come live just about every day here, 5 days a week is what I try to do, coming live to you on YouTube to be a place of refuge. Yes. Is it refuge? No, refuge is refuge, right? Refuse. I did this last week. You know, I said I want to say from now on that this show is a place of refuse. You know, it's like, but refuge is it refuge or refuse? Which one is the trash? Oh my God. So if you're out in the wilderness and and as a storm is coming in and there's that lone cabin just there in the wilderness, and it's got a little bit of supplies, it's got some firewood, some canned food, and that's exactly what Operation Status Quo is. It's the place that you can come to where you can be one. Refuge, right? Refuse is trash. Refuge. What is wrong with me? Honestly, I'm really good at that kind of stuff. Technically, I think what happens is when I start talking live, I get all zipped up and excited because, the lights are on, the camera's on, and now like I actually have to perform. This is one of the reasons why I stay single, because I don't want to have to perform. I don't want anybody to have to say something negative about me. It's just a lot easier. I should do that here on YouTube, too, for you, the wonderful people, right? Instead of putting you through this misery all the time. But seriously, Operation Status Quo, we observe the status quo because why? Because the world is a crazy place out there right now. They would like us to believe a certain status quo is the status quo that we have to accept. But the truth is we don't have to accept it, right? Because we are the creators of our own life. We are the creators in this world. We are all co-creators. So I say this all the time. There's nothing outside that's trying to get you. I especially said this during the time of the pandemic because it was just so crazy during that time, of people so worried about, this quote unquote virus out there going to get them, going to get you, but there's nothing out there to get you. Everything emanates from within. That includes your emotions, your health, your physical attributes as far as your home, your job, your everything. Everything that is in your outside world is merely a projection of the energetic symphony, as it were, going on within yourself. So, and that's why today's show, ladies and gentlemen, is affectionately titled Secret Salvation, because What is the secret to salvation? Well, it's an interesting concept because, everyone's always kind of looking out there for what are they to do? What are we to do to seek salvation, to make sure that my soul is protected and going to heaven or whatever type of things that people believe. But truthfully, salvation is just in the moment, right? And it's up to you to choose salvation. And I've touched on some of these topics in previous episodes, where I talked about religion and the difference between religion, spirituality. I've talked about Course in Miracles a little bit too, if anyone has ever read that or knows anything about that, which is technically not a religion, I guess, per se, but it is supposed to be the intuitive teachings of Jesus that came through. What was her name, that woman? Oh, I forget her name off the top of my head. But anyway, Ken Wapnick was a guy who used to, you can look him up on YouTube. If you look up A Course in Miracles, look up Ken Wapnick. You'll find tons of videos of him explaining Course in Miracles. And I really love Course in Miracles, and I take it as basically a foundation of everything I do, because it basically teaches non-attachment. And no matter what path you go down in this life, whether it's a complete quote unquote wholesome path, whether it be religion or an evil path, whatever path you go down, you're still attaching to ideas that are outside of the oneness, in a sense. So there's nothing wrong with it, because I always talk about this. The earth is basically the school, right? And we're here to learn. Our souls are here to engage and to have the ability to grow and expand the level of consciousness. So whatever it is that works for a person, it may be, Christianity works for somebody, Judaism works for somebody else, Course in Miracles. And I even talk about, I've mentioned this even with the whole Q phenomenon. And for those that aren't, really into Q and non, if you heard it said that way, even though it's really Q and the anons, but, the mainstream media has to always flip and dumb down everything and call it Q. And the reason I'm bringing all these things up is because the truth is, no matter what path you go down, whether, just say you pick a religion and you say, I'm just going to go to church every day and do my donation and, my soul is saved, right? Or, or people with Q, for example, keeps, Q always says, trust the plan. These people, they call it hopium, where, you're just kind of sitting and waiting for who's going to come save you. And at the same thing with Course in Miracles, some people who are really involved in Course in Miracles because it teaches non-attachment so much, and the idea that realistically our everyday life is not real, but merely a projection of the energies and such. So then some people go down that path and say, well, then I don't have to engage in everything. What's the purpose of, living, or not say what's the purpose of living in a negative way, but what's the purpose of actually, engaging and doing things, because, it's all a dream anyway. It's like one of the examples Ken Wapnick gave all the time was like, if you were at a funeral, you're not going to say to the person, oh, don't worry about it. This life's a dream, And so, really, it is a dream, but, at the same time, you're here, right? So if you're here, you're engaging in the dream. You chose to engage whatever level you engage in, whether it be, you follow more of a religious level, you follow more of a, whatever, spiritual or whatever you want to call it out there, but the bottom line is we all kind of resonate with something that, guides our path. But the truth is, no matter what, like, if your religion, for example, you're not waiting for Jesus or Buddha or Muhammad or whoever, to come like dancing out of the sky and say, we got you, everything's good, because the truth is there is only oneness. This is the concept I think that gets lost all the time. And really, if want to kind of just take it to like a kind of simple thought, how easily our world would function, if everybody realized this, that, there is nothing, just like I say, there's nothing out there to get you, like I was saying, there's nothing out there to come save you either, it's like and you don't even need to be saved, because there already is just oneness, and it's all just the same energies anyway. And truthfully, when you wake to the dream, and this is a whole nother, I'm kind of going down a little more off topic, but if, I don't know even how to say it so it sounds understandable in a sense conceptually, but, the universe exists merely because we believe it exists. So, if the time ever came where collectively, I guess, because it would take we are a collective consciousness, but individually our consciousness would have to grow into that collective space where we would realize that it's all a dream. And, and when that realization comes, poof, it's all gone. There's a book called The Disappearance of the Universe that discusses that. It is about Course in Miracles, but basically the main concept of Course in Miracles is the only reason that the world even exists to begin with is because we believe it to exist. So, secret salvation, because the secret to salvation is there is no secret. There's the secret to salvation. You are the chooser, of your salvation, whatever it may be, however you want to, live your life. And we see what's going on out there. And, fear is a driver, right? I mean, fear is a driver. And the powers that be, they know about fear and they know how to use it. They know how to manipulate us psychologically and such. So, we're always looking for something out there for, even when you're watching the news and stuff, you're looking to the news to provide you with some information so you know what's going on in the world so that you can either protect yourself or be informed. But the truth is, it's not even true information. So the more, truthfully, the more we have the ability to shut off all the parameters of the outside intrusions, I would say, and have the time and the ability to go inside, then, that's where the truth lies. That's where, salvation lies. So, and that's why think about how much we fight against each other over different ideologies and such, whether even take a religion out of it, just even obviously politics too. And, day-to-day life, we're always kind of fighting each other over these different, no, this is right and this is wrong and this is right and that's wrong and blah, blah, blah. When in reality, and I say this all the time, there is no right or wrong. There is no good or bad. There's just, different lessons. It's like, would you say that fourth grade is bad, but fifth grade is good, or middle school is good, but high school's bad, or college is good, and, high school's bad? I mean, I'm trying to say, you wouldn't say anything like that, but they're all just different levels, right? And all just different perspectives. So some people go to a vocational school instead of a regular high school. Is that bad to go to a vocational school instead of a, traditional school, right? Some people are in a boarding school. Some people are in juvenile hall, It's all where you need to be. Where do you need to be? Hey-o. So, so I'm wondering how you're feeling out there about all this stuff, because, the world is getting crazier. You see what's going on, the little talk this week, obviously a little more with the financial stuff with the bank, First Republic or whatever, and JP Morgan and some of them, buying them up. These are, and again, this is, I guess that doesn't really go with what I'm saying in a sense, but it does go with what I'm saying, because everything is really just one piece. Everything is one entity, expressing, throughout different means in a sense. So, and I talk about this all the time, and that's why we're here on Operation Status Quo. And that's where I say this is a place of refuge in the storm, because there's not, and I always say nothing to take seriously. Seriously, people, stop taking stuff so seriously. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. And the parameters of what our day-to-day outside world were, they're fading and changing. And I know people get nervous about this and they get upset and they get scared and all this type of thing, but the truth is, like, let it go. Like, imagine you bought a beautiful, property, like a nice waterfront, property. But the house on the property is like, 150 years old, and it's just like, it's falling apart. If you turn on the switch, it might catch on fire with the old electricity and stuff in it. So, it doesn't devalue the area or the beauty or what you have, but you take down that old house and you rebuild, a new house. And it's the same thing of what's going on here, in our society right now. We're just simply deconstructing, painfully so, but we're deconstructing what was, and we're constructing something new and better for people to flourish in. And instead of being, scared about it and upset about it, and fighting against it, and there's always going to be people who are, right? Some people just don't like change, or they don't understand bigger picture, or whatever the case may be. So, there's always going to be resistance, but the more that we can just open ourselves and give to it, the better it's going to be. Really, you have the choice. Like, I feel we're living in like a kind of like a parallel world right now. There's like that mainstream group that wants to keep on doing what was being done before. And then there's the newer group that is excited about the changes and moving forward. So I just want to check on my notes, because I did mention something about this. Yeah, and that's kind of like what I wanted to say. This is the further explanation of how everything is levels and messages. Right. let me take a step back because I was reading my notes to make sure I covered what I wanted to cover. But when I was talking about like religion, Q, Course in Miracles, whatever it is that you follow to find solace or something in this world, But the truth is, you can't. The plan for all that stuff, religion and Q and all, is really for people to realize for themselves. And I would say this more so with Q and A Course in Miracles, because I know with Course in Miracles, like as I was just saying, people get on this thing of, oh well, non-attachment and the world's not real, so I don't have to do anything, I don't have to participate. But that's not true, because on another level, you're a soul that chose your life to be here, and you have you have something to accomplish, to learn, to contribute. So you can't disengage. And the same thing with Q. Q to me I find comfort in it, in the sense of, we see so much evil in the world. I mean, even people who don't believe anything that kind of way, quote unquote conspiracy or what. I mean, generally, feel leaders are, not really helping them, right? I mean, I think we can agree on that. Even the people who, are not into that type of stuff or feel everything's a conspiracy theory. I mean, you got to really realize, and I would think, believe that they're not out there necessarily for your best interest. And at the end of the day, and the bottom line is that, everything is about you making choices for yourself. And that's what we're really getting into here today on Operation Status Quo. We're observing the status quo, and the status quo has been created for us. So, based on the parameters they want to keep us within. So do you want to step forward out of that, or do you want to continue to live in the little petri dish of shit, as I say? I should get a little petri dish as a prop. Maybe I can take my bell. I got a bell here, by the way. This bell is from, I don't know if anybody remembers the game. It was an old game. I think it was in like the late 70s, early 80s. It was called P-I-T, came in a box. I don't even remember what you did with it. It had cards. I don't even know what the game, how you played. But all I know is that it came with a bell. I had this since I was a kid. So, I love my bell. But maybe I can use the bell as like the petri dish. Just say, here we are in this little petri dish of shit that they want to keep us in all the time. So just remember that you have the power within yourself, the choices within yourself. And as I was reading my notes there and saying, it is all levels. No matter what, let's just say like, even a person who was never spiritual or religious, and then you have some sort of experience where maybe you're in a bad car accident or you lost a family member or something tragic, or maybe you are recovering from like drugs or alcohol or something like that, and it leads you to a path of, now you dive in to religion or something, say, right? So the point is, I'm not saying that that's not good. I'm not saying that that if it helps you stay on a path that is more beneficial to your life to create more abundance for you, of course. But like anything else, you can't put like all your eggs in one basket per se, and just be like, now we got to go knocking on everybody's door, telling them if they don't accept Jesus, they're going to hell, and this is the only way. And that might be the way that worked for you in that situation, but it doesn't mean that is the way for everyone. And everything in this life, honestly, comes down to your intent. Basically your intent. I mean, that's really what I feel like, your intent and the space, the space that you keep to realize yourself. It's a crazy, it's like, I say this all the time. You have to like find that space to create space, right? You have to, and it's really an interesting concept. And if you haven't done it, I would say to start doing it. Like sit with your breath, close your eyes and just a few breaths. And the more you just kind of sit and just with your breath and you're quiet, you can start to feel that space, the space between the you and the and the oneness of everything. And you could feel it, and so you start to, practice that and give yourself that space, and then I mean, that's really what it comes down to, intent and space and non-attachment. So, I mean, whatever works for anybody, like, it's like somebody who goes like, was really out of shape or overweight or whatever, had medical problems and diabetes. And now they really got on the kick. They're hitting the gym every day. They're making vegetable juices. They're living, as healthy as they can do, and then that turns into a level of attachment too, right? Then you become entwined. And who would say that's a negative thing? I mean, of course it's positive to treat your body well, but at the same time, it can't become a thing where it overtakes, your life. Because then people get into, just say, right, if you were somebody that maybe always struggled with weight or something like that, and now you found this program that you get on, and you're looking great, you got the abs or whatever you want, you look good, you feel confident in yourself. So now all of a sudden your life gets overtaken by that, right? Because now, I have to maintain this, at 6 a.m, I have to do this, at 7 a.m, I have to do that. And, before you know it, your whole day's gone, and I'm not saying you shouldn't keep a structure or a schedule, but there's always has to be this kind of, see what I'm doing here? He's kind of be like this. Sometimes it's a little more of this, sometimes a little more of this, and it just kind of goes like that in a flow. So, that's basically the message here today, secret salvation. And, the truth is there is no secret to salvation aside from you. I mean, you are the secret to salvation, and you have it within yourself. Just like I say all the time about everything that's going in the world, there's nothing to fear. You have the power to, make choices. All you have to do is you see what's going on. So just mitigate, and work around it and create the scenario that works best for you so that you can live the way you want to live in your abundance and your truth and being good to other people. We have to let go of some of these ideas of, everything's kind of perpetuated through mainstream of what success really is and what we should have by what stages of life and, what it means that, he worked really hard or she worked really hard. And now they got the moving on up like the Jeffersons were moving on up, they got the big apartment on the east side, got their piece of the pie. And it's like, but that's like what it perpetuates. And on a side note, I always say at the Jeffersons, I feel that show, although it's meant to show, African Americans succeeding in quote unquote, white man's world, and they deserve it, and they are just as competent or whatever, the messages were because of that during that time. But I feel the Jeffersons was a detriment as a show to the African American community, because all it did was rope them into the same bullshit mainstream white crap that's been going on, that's been keeping us all suppressed. So it's like it's trying to show, hey, African Americans, you can be free, you can earn a piece of the pie and be moving on up. But we're going to take all your money. We're going to, you have a Social Security number. I'm just saying, you become a slave. That's what's so amazing about everything in our world is, how divided between the genders and the races and the religions and the this and the that. But at the end of the day, it's all about this right here, right? And it's like, we want African Americans to be free because, we'll give them as much as we can give them because they're going to get them locked into the system just like everybody else, and they're going to pay their taxes. It's just like, it's a detriment, because I think the African American community is beautiful. I mean, artistically, just the passion, just a warm, loving, community, and they want to tear it down. They want to tear it down by always showing the bad side, or I wouldn't even say it's the bad side. I would say whatever side, whatever vision they created, created the ghettos in a sense by, what they did with economics, and then create the communities to be violent and such in certain ways, and then perpetuate that idea is that, that's what African Americans are. I don't know why I'm on this tangent with this, because I just feel like it's an insult to the community, the African American community, of how they perpetuate the idea of what they are and what they contribute or whatever, and then try to rope them in, and I go back to the Jeffersons because I feel like, anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. You understand what I'm just trying to say? Let me give a round of applause. I got lost in all that. But this is like anything, just like I was talking about the trans community. There's people out there, they're trans. It's fine. But then they create this whole thing, that makes everybody pissed off at them, and it just, it's not right, and it doesn't make sense. So at the end of the day, they don't care about the people who are in charge, the money people, they don't care. They don't care about black, white. They don't care about Jew, Christian. They don't care about shit. All they care about is money. So whatever it takes to run whatever programs and scenarios to make us fight and then bring us together and then created this for them and it created that for that, and it's just all about bullshit, all about bullshit to keep us divided, but keep the money flowing and, and keep us separate from our source, our power, all that stuff that I always talk about. So anyway, that's it for today. All right. I don't know. I went off a little bit somewhere down the line there. I tried to keep it mostly centered, but again, like all these examples I gave, it's all the same. It's all the same scenario over and over again in different forms. So, you choose, what resonates for you, whatever, values and such that, are important to you, traditions, whatever it is, but at the same time, you realize that they are just parameters for your particular life, right? Like, you as Joe, Jane, Fred, Alex, I don't know, Mary, Pete, whatever are the parameters that work for, the scenario of that being, but again, they're just tools, and they're not, nothing is set in stone. Nothing is the only ultimate truth is the oneness, yeah, and really the only ultimate truth is the oneness. So that's what we really need to focus on. And anytime we get down too far of a path of whatever it may be, whether it be religion, politics, whatever, we need to remember to take that space, have that space, remember what our intent is, what we want to create in the world, and go out and create it. And, be good neighbors, be good family members, just be good people, be good to your pets, be good to the insects, be good to everybody, everything, hug a tree, and together, that's the kind of level of consciousness, with that type of basis of moving forward, with reverence. I talked about in one of the shows, with reverence for what we have in the world, just gratitude every day for what we have in our lives, and that type of thing, and just moving forward from that space. And that's how we create the better world. So boom, that's what we got here today on Operation Status Quo, where we observe the status quo. Of course, we learn to flow with the quo, but then we create our own quo of flow, because that's just the way we have to go. You know what I mean? So I'm Pete Palma. I'm so thankful for you to be here with me today. Please take the time to like, subscribe, share, send this out to your friends, your family, those you love, and of course, most importantly, those you despise as well, because we know that they need the most help of all. So anyway, that's it for me today. God bless each and every one of you. I love you individually as well as a group. I'm really excited to build this community and to keep things going. So please, you're welcome here. Got some more interviews planned. Actually talked to a couple people over the weekend and trying to work on things. You never know when it's going to happen, but people are interested. So I hope you're interested too. And if you are, all you have to do is contact me. My contact information is in the description box below, and drop some comments on this video. Let me know what you think and get in touch with me. You could be here sharing your messages, whatever you want to share with the world, your skills, your talents, your love, and that would be just beautiful for all of us. All right. Okay. Anyway, so that's it. I'm Pete Palma. Thanks again for being here. Until tomorrow, Operation Status Quo, disengaged.